Welcome back to the Daily Chronicle. Today, we're going to talk about family. I'm Keith.
And I'm Rodney, and this is the Daily Chronicle. This is where we do just that. We chronicle all the stuff we're doing in a day to accomplish the things, and sometimes fail at the things that we're doing, but we're leaving notes for our daughters and for ourselves so that we can get better and be our best selves every day. So, yeah, what are we going to... before we get into a topic, how are you feeling today, man?
Yeah, I got to tell you, I'm feeling... Like today's one of those days, I just feel amazing. I feel in good spirits. I had a good workout this morning, good journaling session. You know, it's a good start to the day. I got my coffee. How about you? How are you feeling?
Oddly enough, I feel very good. I've had a very shitty week, and yet I feel really good. So yeah,
take
that
good.
For what it is.
That's something we'll have to get into.
I haven't gotten to meditate today. I gotta fit that in still.
With that said, like, so before we get into family, like what's on your docket today? Like, what's on the docket today?
Really busy day with calls for work today.
Yeah.
So I've got a lot of calls coming up, and then I've got some prospecting to do. Got a little bit of just strategy work. We're starting a new half for the fiscal year, so got some strategy realignment to do, and then got a couple of other things. Yes. What's happening? Okay. Horrible timing.
I was gonna just come in and put it down.
Yeah. Ugh. Hi, baby girl. Okay. Hi. Okay, we'll just cut that, and I'll come back, and I'll just have a baby.
Yeah.
It'll be magic. And so the rest of my day, I've got a couple of other strategic things to handle for like inviting guests to the podcast, and some social planning later tonight. So, and I'm really excited because we're getting like a new audio track recorded. Like,
nice.
We have a violinist in a studio recording with us right now, so that's exciting.
I'm excited about that.
What about you?
A lot of calls, busy day. Today's Thursday. I like to do more prospecting and some business development for the job. It's a pretty full and busy day. I think I also, we got to get an episode out. We're about to start season 1 of the podcast, the More Than Common podcast, right?
It's going.
So we're trying to get that out, get that wrapped up with our editor and producer, and so work on some things on the consulting side of stuff with you. So it's a full day, but I also have the family time and have to, I have a lot of stuff to commit to, which leads to the topic of today, right?
Man,
yesterday,
in family time, I don't even mention, because I guess
you didn't mention it. Yesterday, you brushed over it. Today, I brushed over it, and we talk a lot about what we do. But so that's why I wanted to bring this up. Like, what is weekly or daily? What is family time? Like, how does that define? Like, what does that look like for you? And what is it that you're trying to fit in as a priority, right?
Remember how I mentioned this week's been shitty?
Yeah.
That is a moving target. It really, like, right now, like, my wife got, I don't know, she got maybe an hour and a half of sleep, and I got maybe 2 hours of sleep last night. So she's going to take a nap, and Reese is going to work with me.
Yeah.
Until she loses her mind, and then she'll go back to mom. And so it's just called survive and balance where possible. But I mean, my typical day, like I have a set, like I wake up with the kids when they wake up, and we have a morning routine, walking the dogs and making the tea and the breakfast and getting ready to go to daycare for my oldest, and getting this one, just getting her dressed and whatnot. And then throughout the day, it's just kind of, we're meshing schedules to try and maximize each other's time. Like, my wife's trying to do some business stuff and some photography stuff and yoga and sleep. And then in the evening, like, I would say what I aim for is like 2 to 3 nights a week of just like solid chill time with Rachel. It's hard. It doesn't always happen that way. If there's stuff that needs to get done, And sometimes that chill time is like working chill time. Like I'm on a computer, but we're having conversation. So neither is optimal, but it's that middle ground, I think. What about you? What's that look like for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're very routine, and I think it's in that routine that enables me to manage that priority. So at the end of the workday, one of us cooks, right? One of us cooks, and then we eat dinner. We actually eat dinner pretty early at 5:30 because bedtimes. And we're, like I said, we're a very regimented and routine family.
Yeah,
So
we start cooking around 5:30. We eat around 6.
yeah, so we eat around 5:30, start bedtimes around 6:30 for both kids, and playtime, and that's really a lot of what our family time is. And then at night, um like there's a lot of stuff to do on the podcast, so I try to really balance what that is, so my wife and I can spend some time together, whether it's watching a show, doing a puzzle, whatever the case may be. At the same time, I have the opportunity to get some work done, right? And I think that's where, I think the key in that though is the routine and the focus, which, of course I have an answer, but I'll ask back to you so I can give everybody a break of me talking here for a second. Like when you're in that family time, you talk about sometimes you're on a computer and sometimes you're not, but how do you maximize it? Like it's been reported and it's been researched that an hour of focused quality time with your kids is far more beneficial than 3 hours of garbage time where you're checked out, unhappy, and miserable with the kids, right? So like, how do you balance that, manage that?
So like I've done a lot of work on managing notifications and stuff. We talked about that before a little bit. One of the things is like we have a soft rule in our house that, especially like right when Ruby gets home from daycare, when we start the dinner and nighttime routine, we keep our phones like on the counter, which is mainly because they need to charge, and we have this counter where we charge them. It's like if we need to use them, we go to them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it helps me with kind of an interrupt to say, do I need to use it? Like if I'm sitting playing with Ruby and I'm like, and I have one of those random thoughts, like, did somebody text you? Like one of those just unnecessary, because your phone actually alerts you when somebody texts you.
Yeah.
But it just kind of builds in a check. And then, but then there are moments like that. I say it's a soft rule because oftentimes I have my phone next to me on the floor or in my pocket, and then it does go off, and I look at it, and it's like sometimes I make a chess move, or sometimes I respond to an email, and more frequently I'm asking myself afterwards, like, oh, did I need to do that right now? And so what I really just try and do is just get engrossed into what I'm doing with Ruby. And like a lot of times for me, it's just like watching her play and just like enjoying watching the kids do what they do. And that's almost meditative for me in a way. But I don't know, those are the things that like, that's the main thing we try and do is just like put the phones aside for even just like you say, like half hour and an hour to just get the like all sit down at the table and eat and like have a good like talk about the day. Like, what'd you like at daycare today? Did you play with the chickens? Like, what's up? What about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think, trying to wrap this up, but it's really very much an intentional decision, and really deciding like, am I going to need to work? And this goes to communication with my wife. It's like, I might need to work until X period of time on something, or she might need to work until X period of time on something. So trying to be disciplined on what that looks like and saying, okay, it's time to shut this off, right? In the same way I have to say it's time to shut family off so I can go to work. Like now I've got to shut work off so I can go to my family and then get back to it. Work will always be there, right? So putting the phones down,
and there are moments where they coexist.
There are moments, and it's not perfect. I'd love to say it was perfect. I'd love to say I was perfect with it, but I'm not. So anyway, you're
perfect in your imperfection.
How do you, man, like what's one trick that you do to make sure that family time is dedicated and focused from your life?
Or whatever is really important.
Or whatever's important, right? Yeah. I mean, whatever it may be, even if it's just about your time for yourself.
Back to that self-care thing. All right. Appreciate you, man.
You too, buddy. Bye.